Hello and welcome back. I'm Nicole, a cottage witch, and today I'm going to go through a few of the things, books and decks that I've gotten recently, but mostly, because I've only gotten a couple, some pairs. And, but I'm going to start with the only book I got in September, which was Under the Bramble Arch by Corinne, because it used up my whole book budget. Because I got it on, I think, eBay, and I didn't notice that before. And it wasn't outrageously priced, but it wasn't cheap either for a single paperback. But look at all those beautiful plants of the wayside. So really looking forward to that one. It's a bit, I'm not sure what's happened to it in its lifetime, but it's got a bit of a wobble happening. So I might have to stick it under a pile of books, but that's okay. So that's that. Oh, and then I went to Value Village and found this cute little box, which I have no use for presently, but I'll figure out something. This, I assume, used to be an ashtray, and I cleaned it up a bit. I haven't polished it or anything, but got a good clean. It was made in India, apparently, and yeah, if it wasn't an ashtray, I'm not sure exactly what its original purpose was, but I'm sure I can find one. And then, as usual, collected some odds and ends. It's acorn season. Not sure if this is real or fake. I expect probably fake as pearls go, but I found that. I collected some hawthorn spikes because I needed a few more of those, and of all the things you can find at Value Village, because I'm very far from the ocean, but sometimes I want to imagine I'm close to the ocean. So I got a couple of bags that I had to go through and clean and sort and everything of shells, and they're stunning. Like, look at those. These little conch shells? Is that, no, what are these called? I can't remember. I had some as a kid. I don't know where I got them from. So that's a strange random memory. But anyway, those are, oh, and this cute little box for treasures of some sort that I'll figure out someday, I'm sure. Anyway, so those are the things that aren't decks that I got. One of the decks that I haven't paired with anything so far, that I got because I only got it a couple days ago, is the Lord of the Rings Tarot by S.A. Fikes? I'm not sure how you say his name. Where's his? Here's his social media stuff. Fikes art on Instagram, and I got his deck on Etsy. And it's kind of amazing. Excuse me. There's former maggot in his field. It's beautiful. As I've said before, I'm not a cardstock aficionado, so I don't know what it seems to be linen, but beyond that, I couldn't tell you. There's Arwen. Eomer and his army for the chariot. That's fantastic. It's so good. And they're characters that are recognizable enough from the movies. This is one of those things that didn't ever happen between these three particular women. But it's in here anyway for some, so it's not quite my favorite, but it also kind of works, I guess. This is beautiful. Off to the Undying Lands. For Judgment, that's so good. The rings being forged. Treebeard. Sam with his, well, not taters, but wishful thinking. Would be taters. So yeah, there are a lot of scenes from the movies that aren't, like, it's not an official deck, I don't think, so it's not exact likenesses of the actors, but it's close enough that you can tell who's who. This is Luthien. So there are some characters who are in the books, but not the movies. Galadriel with her golden Malone trees. And then there are scenes that were very definitely in the movie. So there's a bit of both. There are some characters like Bombadil and Goldberry that didn't make it into the movies, even the extended edition, which I have no idea how many times I've watched now. I love those so much. And I'll reread the books probably at Christmas. How perfect is that for the Fool of a Toque? So good. Also a very good sun card. Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. It's well thought out. It's very beautifully done. This is another scene from the books, but not the movies. So there are a few. He does have a little, just this little 4 or 5 page, whatever you call this, mini booklet, describing who's who, if you're not familiar. So that's lovely, because if you'd just seen the movie, you wouldn't know that that's Celebrian, who I think is Arwen's mother and Arwen's father, and then Goldberry and Bombadil. So there are a few things like that that it's helpful to have this little booklet for. But yeah, really, look at this. I love it. It's just too good. And all of the suits have a slightly different color, but it's not so noticeable as to be intrusive. It's very subtle. Love it. It's just such a well done deck by somebody who obviously knows the material really well. And really cares about it. So yeah, this is another one of those cards that's, okay, maybe not my favorite, but at least the 3 of Swords is good. So I can't complain. This actually, I couldn't remember what Malort seed was. I had to look it up, but it's the seeds of the trees of Lothlorien. And in the book, Galadriel gives one to Sam, who plants it in the Shire. So yeah, that's just been absolutely delighting me lately. And by lately I mean the last, 2 days. Because that's as long as I've had it. And I love it. It's so much. Alright. Now, the other decks. So this deck is new. This is the Earth Blessings Oracle cards. And I've just gotten that recently as well. It's very similar, not by the same person, but similar in sort of design to the Sea Journeys Oracle cards. So it's got a similar sort of, now I've got too many things in the way. And these things keep falling out of boxes on me. Not my all-time favorite box style, but whatever, I'll cope. So they're very similar. I haven't actually used these together, but as you can see, they've got both a keyword, a phrase, and a photograph of nature, something earthy-ish and something sea-ish, I guess. So yeah, so this one just came today, so I'll put that aside for just a second to show you the deck that I'm pairing it with, because if you're familiar with the Drop 'em 78 challenge, that's something that Esther at Mindful Tarot does every year. I think this is the 3rd year. And it basically, you take 78 days from October 15th to December 31st to go through all of the cards in a certain order. It starts with Pentacles. I can't remember the order after that, and then it ends with the majors. So you end with the World on New Year's Eve. And it's great. Last year I did it with the Gentle Tarot, the mini one, because that was the only one I had at the time. And it was fun. It was nice to just spend one day with one card, read the little section of the book for that day, and just spend a little bit of time thinking about it, contemplating, sitting with the imagery, that sort of thing. So I'm going to do that again this year with the, oh, I don't have a box here for this. This is the Tarot, the Roots of Asia Tarot Racine. I can never quite get the R's right in French. One day I'll get there. Anyway, this deck is beautiful and I love it, and I think it's out of print, but you can still get it secondhand, like on eBay or whatever. And sorry, it's allergy season in Alberta at the moment. Very, very allergy season. So anyway, I haven't done a lot of deck pairing in my life. I mean, I consider myself relatively new to tarot still. I've just been doing it for the last few years. But I've watched a lot of Dawn Michelle's videos, and lately I've watched a lot of Fairlight Tarot's videos, and she has a lot of fascinating pairings as well with decks I've never seen anywhere else before, so that's very cool. And I think this Earth Blessings one was one that I saw on her channel, and one that I'm getting. I may film an addendum to this video on Monday. It's Friday now, so I just sort of want to do most of this now. But I may add on a bit, because there's another deck coming on Monday that I think she paired. Who paired it with the Roots of Asia? Oh, I can't remember now. It was an Instagram account, I think, English Witch in France, something like that. Anyway, I'll tag them below. I'll have to look them up and find out what they're really called, if that's not it. So anyway, that little ramble aside, there is one more deck that I'm waiting for that will probably arrive on Monday, that I'll add into this September haul, even though it will be the very beginning of October by that point. But yeah, so, and then the other deck that I've played with, oddly, because they're both very busy and I didn't think they'd go together, is the Margarete Petersen Tarot. And I don't know if other people will think they go together, and that's fine. But I've been sort of liking them. So, how do people usually do this? Something like this. I clearly am not adept at deck pairing videos. I'll leave the polish in that regard to Dawn Michelle, because I don't have any polish. However, I realize there's a lot going on visually. I appreciate that. But I also feel like they talk to each other in interesting ways. There's a lot of depth to both of them, and a lot that I can just sit with and contemplate for a while, meditate with, or do that sort of. This is one of those cards that I might have to look up the guidebook poem for, because it's sort of an outlier for me. Anyway, I'm just really intrigued by this combination, so I may have to keep messing around with it. I've only been using this pairing for the last, I don't know, just this week, I think. Because I only just decided I was going to use this Racine Tarot for the Drop 'em 78 challenge. So, and sometimes the colors don't quite match, but there's a quality of deep waters, I think, that can give you a lot to chew on with both of them. And I mean, they're different styles, pardon me, different colors, different, just all sorts of things. They're both a bit on the abstract side, this one much more so. But yeah, I've been kind of enjoying this. And the Margarete Petersen Tarot is one of those decks that I haven't spent as much time with as I feel like I probably should have. To be fair, I've sort of just been getting, well, not just getting into tarot, but I'm at the point where I sort of feel like I have a handle on the basics at this point. And this is one of those decks that I got well before I had a handle on anything, because I just absolutely love the artwork. So I'll have to spend more time with that. Probably this winter, fall, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. There's something going on there. Anyway. So that's the Margarete Petersen tarot that I've had out and about, and will, just for the last few days, and will keep out. And now things are falling over. Oh, good. Okay. And then I had already the what did I say this was called? Sea Soul Journeys Oracle cards. Good. I have a memory like a sieve. Okay. So I had this. So when I saw the Earth Blessings Oracle with this Roots of Asia tarot on the Instagram account of the person I will tag below, or link below, English Witch in France, something like that. When I saw that pairing on her, I thought I'll try this because it's not the same, obviously, but it's sort of close enough I can get a feel for whether I'd want to get the Earth Blessings and see if it really suits me, you know. And this obviously is much simpler. It has much less going on than the Margarete Petersen. But that's sort of a nice contrast to some of these very busy Roots of Asia cards. So I spent a couple days, and by a couple I literally mean a couple, just playing with this a bit. And I think I kind of like it. This is one of those decks where, because I'm very extremely landlocked, very far away from any sort of ocean, or anything even vaguely resembling ocean, I don't use it very often because I don't have a connection to the sea. I just really like how beautiful some of those photos are. This one, though, I feel like I will probably use more. This is that Earth Blessings Oracle. It's called Connect with the Healing Power of Nature. It's by Liz Dean, whose name I've heard of, but I don't think I've used anything else she's made before. I think she's written some books that I have not read. So I don't really know much about her. And I've literally just opened this box today, like it came in the mail today. So I've not tried it yet. But I don't dislike it anyway. Nope. That's pretty. That is a beautiful card. Radiant. May you shine brightly. God, that's beautiful. Nature is amazing. Just never ceases to astonish me. And I think I will continue to spend some time with this pairing and see. The Roots of Asia isn't a deck that I'm overly familiar with. Like, I've read through parts of the guidebook when the cards didn't quite immediately make sense to me. So I've done a little bit of work with it, but not a lot yet. And there's just a lot in there. So I need to spend more time with that. But I think, at least from time to time, this fall through winter maybe? Yeah. The period of time where we're doing the Drop on 78, I might occasionally break out the Earth Blessings to see what it has to say about the cards on any given day. Maybe it would be better to do it like this. Oops. For this one. Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I like that one. Okay. Oh, and I've gone and put the wrong cards on the wrong piles. Okay. Yeah, I really like this particular pairing. I'm gonna keep this one and keep using it. Whoops. Throughout the Drop 'em 78 challenge, I think. Alright. And I think I'll leave it at that for now, but I might leave these out on this table and keep playing with them, and then if the other deck, which name of which I've also forgotten because memory issues, does arrive in a couple of days, I'll test that one out too. Alright, so ignoring the fact that in between these two videos I cut the tip of my finger off gardening, this Messages from the Light meditation deck has arrived. And as expected from English, well, the Instagram account I'll link below, something about a witch in France. It does go very well together. Honestly, every time I speak, I forget people's names. As soon as I stop recording, I will immediately remember her account. But yes, they are lovely. The one thing I've noticed, because I was playing with it today, is it is very, very light, like Messages from the Light. It's not kidding. There's not a lot of the sort of darker aspects of the human experience in this deck. So if that's not your thing in an oracle deck, maybe not this one. But I mean, they do talk to each other. Yeah, really enjoying this pair. Anyway, I may flip through a couple more, but then that's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.